Hey, thanks so much for clicking on this video. Super excited to have Luke Harvey here from HW Media. They are smashing the med spa space at the moment. Luke, give a really quick introduction if you don't mind, just what it is you guys do, what you've been doing in the past, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure. My name's Luke Harvey, of Harvey in Media. We've been working in the aesthetics and med spa niche now for I think it's about 3 or 4 years. Yeah, it's good to connect with Aaron. Got hit with one of his adverts, but also when I asked around, quite a few people had heard of you and worked with you. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's a pleasure, really.
yeah, love it, man. And I know you're having obviously issues with the call center. You tried to build out the call center originally, right? How long were you running the call center before you got into call center mastery?
I think it was, I'd say about a year solidly running it, but probably around 18 months of like planning and getting it all ready and everything.
Yeah.
So probably between a year and 18 months.
Yeah, man. Cool. And then what was it like before working with call center mastery? Like what were the kind of the problems you're having, kind of pains you were having? How did all that work?
Sure. I think like sometimes you don't know what you don't know, right? So I built the call center based on information I had like here, there, and everywhere and tried to make it as best as possible with that what was provided. But then obviously with what you've got, it's just everything all in one place. And because everything syncs together, I mean, like everything you learn, there's so many different parts to it, right? There's so many moving parts to it. It's complicated at first, and but once you've got it, once you've done it and it's working, you understand it way more. I think that just helped pull everything together, make everything work much smoother for sure.
Yeah, a lot of people have that, like that they get the basics done, but they don't appreciate how inefficient it is, right? So it's kind of like the analogy I always use is like you're driving a full Fiesta around a racetrack, right? And it's like you're driving around the racetrack, and you're like, yeah, it's fun, I'm driving around a racetrack, it's not an issue. But only when someone puts you in a Lamborghini and you start driving, then you're like, oh, this is way different, right? So yeah, a lot of it is inefficiencies and that kind of stuff. So
I feel like
so
even if you can earn one, sorry to interrupt you there, but
no,
even
you're
if you
good, you're good.
one thing from it, which you earn way more, like one thing in the business that we're in can be the difference between signing an extra, keeping a customer for an extra 2 or 3 months, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or bringing on an extra client, etc. Like just one little tweak, one little thing you can learn can actually revolutionize your business slash call center in a way, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it, man. And lifetime value is so important, and agencies don't focus on that. They focus on getting that new sale, getting that PIF, that kind of thing, and they never think about, hold on, if I was able to keep my clients for an extra 2 or 3 months just by doing, like I said, one extra thing with a call center, then boom, like that could be worth like literally thousands and thousands of pounds or dollars or whatever it is, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, what do you think the biggest impact CCM has had on your agency? Like CCM, by the way, for people watching call center mastery. Yeah, what do you think the biggest impact was with all this stuff?
I think at the end of the day, what it does is there's a lot of things it does, but for us, it helped to give more time to the ISAs, to the lead callers, which meant they have capacity to call more leads, which meant they had the capacity to handle more accounts,
Yeah,
which allows us to obviously need less ISAs, really. Well,
yeah,
or expand faster. It's not like I had to get rid of any. It just meant they can look after more accounts than they did before. And like they're making more calls per day. Um, it's way more automated what they have to do each day.
yeah, yeah. It's trying to remove their decision making. We don't want them to go in the accounts and be like, I'm gonna do this today, I'm gonna do that. Like you want them to
Because
have
what
like
happened
a
before, right,
structure.
was
Yeah,
so I had it set up in a similar way without going into mad detail. Because if you're watching this video, I'm not, you might not know. You have like, cool, you've got your new leads. You want to call them twice. The next day, you're going to call them twice. The next day, you're going to call them twice. Next day, you're going to call them twice. But a lot of the team, they were doing it manually. And it means that sometimes there was leads. When you've got an account and there's so many leads coming in, they kind of, there was sometimes leads that were in day two, which should have only been there for like 2 or 3 days that have been there for weeks. And it's not even necessarily the ISA's fault. Like they're managing a lot of leads. Whereas now they don't have to figure out like, oh, what leads am I going to call in what order? Like they just go and sort it out. And it's
yeah,
automated. Just made
love that.
their life easier. To be honest with you, one of the problems at first with this was actually because we've already got the call center running with 40 plus clients, was implementing it with our existing clients and our existing ISAs when they already have a certain way of doing things.
Yep,
So, no one likes change, right? Like everyone's got set ways of doing things. No one really likes change. So I had to drum in like this is the change for the better because one, you're gonna get through more calls, you're gonna make more commission. And then at the first couple, like the week of doing it, they didn't really like it. But then afterwards, they're like, oh, Luke, like, oh, this is so much better. Like, and I'm so glad I heard that from them because I was like, I know this is going to work. You just got to trust me. And the fact they actually came back to me was like, yeah, like this has made my life so much easier.
Oh, dude,
Made it all worth it.
that's so good, man. We've never actually spoke about this before. That I know that you had 40 plus, but I never knew there was. I guess yeah, you've always got to transition them at some point, right? But we never really spoke about it before. So I know there was a few times when we spoke on that on my coaching calls where it was a bit like, how do I get all my assets to start doing this? What should I tell them? That kind of thing. So I'm really glad that they said that and it's more efficient for them and because obviously it, getting more appointments to your clients, more of it, that kind of thing is really important. But when it comes to like even retaining ISAs, it's like if you're making them do boring, like the same thing, and it's like not clear and they're getting kind of told off, and people end up leaving the company as well. They just don't, and you don't want to lose staff either. So having like a clearer system, that's actually a really good benefit I never really thought of before is not losing
Another
ISAs.
benefit was as well
Yeah.
was just generally with the way that you've obviously set up the reporting, etc. That's allowed more time as well because I had someone that was manually doing a lot of the reporting,
Yeah.
which we were paying money for, and then now we don't need that service anymore because it's pretty much all taken care of.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
it's much
Perfect.
clearer for everyone what's going on. And I think you know what, like outside of the call center things that you learn, like the system and everything that you get taught and the software that you get taught, like it just helps you level up yourself, like with skills, because you don't know what you don't know at the end of the day. I've used high level for a long time, but I'm always still learning new things because people do things in different ways. And from what you've learned, I've gone out and built out other systems that aren't directly to do with the call center, to do with what you taught, but other things from what I learned. So I think that,
Yeah.
yeah, like everything it's way more than just the call center stuff. Because then you think about, oh wow, if I'm doing this like this way,
That dude.
I've got this over here, I can do this. So yeah, which is where it ended up by jumping on the calls with you and like I'm asking you questions that aren't even really the call center. They are, but they're like, it's dude, I know you know the answers to it basically.
Yeah, yeah, that this is exactly it. Like I said to you guys, you and Sam, when we first had our call, I was like, so many of these skills are very transferable across other parts of the agency. When you start to learn the reporting, the automat, all that kind of stuff, it's like all of a sudden, I had one guy that went through the program and he built out some crazy cool, like he didn't even understand what make was when we first started, and now he's building out all this crazy stuff, and like it's really, really powerful just for not just for the call center, like you said. So yeah, I love that, man. And how hard did you find the program? Like going through it, implementing it all, like how hard did you find all that?
Yeah, I think the videos are very clear. I think that my best advice would be for anyone that is doing it, like don't try and hop in and out of it. Like try and dedicate a couple of days just to smash it out because I
Yes.
think you'll forget. Like you'll forget certain things. Like I just went all in with it. Like when we first got it, spent the first couple of days, smashed it out. And then the reason you can't go wrong and the difference between this and a lot of other services out there is like because you have the calls almost every day. I think they are every day, right?
Yep.
If you get stuck, like later that day, you can just jump on a call and ask for help, and then
Yep.
you crack back on with it. It's not like you have to wait a week or try and like the videos are there and you can figure it out for yourself. But of course, sometimes you just need someone help. Like you go on the call and there's just someone there every day, so you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I love that, man. Yeah, it's exactly it. I don't want people ever being in a situation where, because building this out, some people do find it harder than others, and I don't want them being in a situation where they're feeling frustrated or they're not getting the support they need. So yeah, I'm glad you recognize that.
Anyone can build it out using the videos for sure. Like anyone
Yeah,
can build it out. And
yeah,
then the calls are just there to support and yeah, just make the most of them really. Like you can kind of tell because at the start when I'm building out, I was jumping on the calls every day. Now I don't really need to jump on the calls that much because like it's working how it was supposed to work. So
yeah.
now it's just jumping on every now and again just to find out if there's anything new going on, see what other people are facing, like if they're facing any challenges just with their call center in general, and then being able to take that away. And if there is little things like you know what, system's always going to bug out, right? There's glitches all the time. So sometimes you just jump on and say, oh, like this is happening. And then you guys, I don't think you've ever not been able to answer the
Find it,
question or
figure it
fix
out.
the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that, man. Yeah, I love that. And what kind of fears or worries? Obviously, a lot of people buy these kind of agency programs, and I'm really trying to not become like an agency guru, right? And so when jumping into this, like, what were the kind of worries or fears you had around the program before jumping in?
Uh, I wanted to definitely make sure it was going to make the money back. Like, do you know what I mean? Investment in it, like for certain, like it's not. I wouldn't like it's a fair price for what it is, and you get a lot for it. And I'd say that if you have a call center, like you definitely need to buy this just because it's got it will just help you. Even if you've been having your call center for 2 or 3 years, I guarantee you'll learn something from it. And you're
Yeah.
with other people that are all running call centers as well. Because that's another thing. I didn't really have I wasn't really necessarily a network full of people that had call centers. Do you know what I'm saying? I had a few people that I'd reach out to. Now there's a whole school of people that you can, because sometimes I just go through and look at the questions other people are asking on the comments on the board,
Yep.
and I think, oh, that's a great question. And I just look at the answers, and I learn something. I learn stuff just every once a week. I just scroll through and catch
Oh, I
up.
love that.
I always learn like one or two things. I'm like, oh, I should try that at my call center. Or sometimes obviously you can answer the questions for other people and give them help. But I think if you're brand new to this, I think it was so much easier. Like if I had this from the start of the call center, it would have made my life easier. It made it more complicated that I was already later down the line. But then it's probably had a bigger impact because I already have clients. So I've seen
Yeah.
the impact straight away. Whereas if you're new, because you don't know what you don't know, so you just probably think this is how everyone does it.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure, man. Yeah, it makes sense. And what were the favorite parts of the program? What kind of were the bits that really stood out to you that you enjoyed the most?
Uh, I like setting it up is kind of long, but then like you learn stuff from it. So I think that's one of my favorite part, like taking away things that I've been able to implement elsewhere, like I said earlier. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
And I think just having the help really, like not just you, obviously your team, like they're good.
yeah,
So if you had to jump on Zoom every day and get help every day if you want it, then like it's unmatched really. Just got to make the most of it.
yeah. Love that. Cool. And the final question, man, is what would you say to other people that are potentially on the fence, whether they have a call center or don't have a call center? They're on the fence, they're not too sure if if it's worth it or not. What would you say to to recommend us?
Yeah, for sure. I think that at the end of the day, like it was gonna make your call center more efficient, which is gonna make you more money. That was it. Like this was a calculated decision that we made based on cool, it costs X amount. Are we like are we gonna see that back? And what's the benefit? And like 100% you will. Like if
Yeah.
the only reason you wouldn't is if you don't jump on the calls and don't follow the course. But I just don't understand how someone wouldn't. Because like I said, I've learned way more. I started talking about a lot about one thing, one thing. If you learn one thing, that can generate you a lot of money anyways to make it back. Let alone if you learn way more than that. So yeah, it's not
Yeah.
just the systems, the networking, the reporting's good. That helps, makes it transparent if a client needs to see it or you want to show them it. Obviously the ISAs, they're happy because they can get more bookings now because they're making more calls. They look after more accounts. They've got more responsibility. Like it just all trickles down.
Yeah. Love it, man. Well,
Yeah, I highly
look,
recommend it to anyone
yeah.
that's sitting on the fence. Really, like just do it and just put your all into it. I think, and yeah, you should benefit from it. And I'll be there as well. You could we're a network.